Hey guys, what's up? We are back again with another video, and again, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach my goal of 1,200 subscribers by the end of September by hitting that subscribe button down below. We are 44 away. Like the video if you enjoy it. Comment all your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this upcoming matchup. Go ahead, pause the video, put your score prediction down below. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be the Wolfpack or is it going to be the Fighting Irish in this matchup? Also, make sure that you check out the live stream. I will have a live stream on my channel, same channel that you're watching this on, Saturday for the game. So my commentary and all sorts of stuff like that. So if you want to join me at noon Eastern time, which is when the game will be streaming, or is streaming on the channel and live on television, make sure you go ahead and drop by there. Also, make sure you check out College Football Roundup. It's the podcast channel that I have with American Football Network, where we will put out a top 20 list of games, and this game will be one of the ones featured for the Week 2 game. So make sure that you go ahead and check that out as well. Also, one other final thing, make sure that you check out the website and the podcast. All links are in the description as well. And now let's get into this game. So let's just do a little bit of a recap here. North Carolina State played UConn earlier this week with a Thursday night win against the Huskies, getting a 24-14 win on the road. North Carolina, our NC State, played well in this game. Brennan Armstrong had a solid stat line. He did go 17 of 26, 155 yards, but was much more efficient on the ground, averaging 5.1 yards a carry on 19 attempts, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with only a long of 11. So it was just kind of a continuous rushing attack from Brennan Armstrong, being able to show off some elusiveness there. The passing attack was very limited. Did not look fantastic in the game. Definitely got slowed down there by UConn. The defense played pretty solid, was able to keep the passing attack from UConn really under control, but the rushing attack from UConn did get 6.2 yards a carry in 26 attempts, which led to 160 rushing yards. So that definitely is a bit concerning when you're looking at that as a NC State fan, because Notre Dame, that's the big thing that you have going into this game. You have Audric Estime, Jadarian Price, Jabrian Payne, and not even to mention Chris Tyree sometimes. Devin Ford may play in this game, but the biggest factor here is a Jeremiah Love, who has that explosive feature, something that North Carolina, or NC State, I don't know why I keep saying North Carolina, NC State definitely is going to have to try really hard to be able to stop that rushing attack, and I think that the linebackers specifically of NC State, they're a little bit bigger guys. They're not exactly what you're looking for when it comes down to trying to get a guy like Jeremiah Love down, or even an Audric Estime, who he's a big dude and has some speed to him. But let's get into 3 keys of victory for NC State, then we'll move on to the Irish, and then we'll get into my prediction. 3 keys of victory for NC State. Number 1, you got to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to stop Notre Dame from being able to run the ball. You got to put the focus on Sam Hartman and the young wide receiver core if you want any shot at winning. You got to be able to stop the run. You can't get up to 6.2 yards a carry. If you do that or anything like that to Notre Dame is simply going to be able to run the ball over and over again. So that's number 1. You got to be able to stop the run. Number 2, you got to get turnovers. You got to win that turnover battle overall. Particularly, you do need to get turnovers. You need to get some extra possessions. You aren't as talented as Notre Dame, so you are probably going to need to be able to get an extra possession here or there, be able to get Audric Estime to fumble again, which he does on a considerably high basis. So that is a concern as a Notre Dame fan. That Audric Estime sometimes, to a lot of the time, does fumble, so there's an issue there. But overall, you just got to be able to win the turnover battle. You can't make those big mistakes, and you got to be able to cause turnovers on the defensive end. Then the third and the final one is you got to be able to get the passing attack going early and often. Brennan Armstrong played great at West Virginia as a passer, but last year he just wasn't good. He really struggled when it came to passing, and it really showed. He had struggles all throughout the year and definitely had issues there. So I think that you got to be able to get it going when it comes to that passing attack if you want any shot at winning this game. So those are the 3 keys. To go over them real quickly: you need to stop the run, number 1. You need to be able to win the turnover battle, number 2. And you got to be able to get the passing game going. That's number 3. Those are for the NC State Wolfpack. Now for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Number 1, got to get the run game going early. You want to be able to get going, and like I said, NC State's run defense is not fantastic, so you definitely are looking at an opportunity to be able to get some points up on the board because of the rushing attack that you have. So I think that you definitely have to be able to do that and go there. Number 2, you got to get the young wide receivers involved early and often. I want to see a Jaden Grayhouse. I want to see a Tobias Merriweather. I want to see a Jaden Thomas. I want to see these guys getting going early and often. I want good passes. I want some rhythm. I want some quickness to the game. And I want to be able to also see some deep passes. I want to be able to see some shots. Notre Dame really hasn't taken a lot of shots against their first 2 opponents, which isn't a shock. It's in Navy and in Tennessee State. So obviously you're not going to try to take a bunch of shots in those games, but you do kind of need to be able to take shots in some of those. Then, third and final one, you got to have some explosive plays. You got to be able to make some explosive plays, whether that is a blocked punt, a blocked field goal, a kick return touchdown, a massive run play, or a massive pass play. Like one of those 5, like kind of big, explosive, momentum-changing things. You got to be able to get some more explosiveness. You really haven't had too many explosive plays in the first 2 games. Again, you are playing Tennessee State and Navy, so you're not going to throw the full playbook at everything, which is understandable. Like, you're not going to throw your trick plays, your big passes, or stuff like that. So, but you do want to get that going early. And I'll also add this into the kind of the first point as I review the Notre Dame points. You also have to control the trenches, control them early and often. You've done a good job against Navy and Tennessee State, but that's Navy and Tennessee State. Though when it comes to NC State, the defensive line is not like that much better than like a Navy's. So you should be able to still play decently on the offensive line. You should be able to play well and be able to get pressure on the defensive end and be able to keep the pressure off Sam Hartman on the offensive end. So to review, 1, get the run game going early and often. Number 2, get the dynamic playmakers outside going early. And number 3, which I forgot, number 3 is make sure that you have some explosive plays. I forgot it for a second. Make sure you have some explosive plays. Get them going early and often as you kind of get going in this game. So now let's get to the prediction portion. When it comes down to this, Notre Dame, when Sam Hartman has been the quarterback, on 11 of 12 drives, Notre Dame has scored a touchdown. And yes, it is against Navy. It is completely and 110% against Navy. And that is a big deal, and against Tennessee State. So that matters, and that's context there. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, Sam Hartman has looked fantastic. He's gotten the ball where he needs to, and they've just looked good. NC State definitely did have some struggles, some week 1 struggles. That's understandable against a solid UConn team that made a bowl game last year, did have a losing record, but did play a good year last year, finishing with a 6-7 record. This is not a bad UConn team, but definitely a team that does need to get going. So, to wrap up this video, when it all comes down to it, this game is being played in Raleigh. It's going to be played at NC State. But at the end of the day, I do think the victor for this game is Notre Dame. I think it is 42-14. Fighting Irish get the win over the NC State Wolfpack in this game. I think NC State does a good job in being able to slow Notre Dame down early, but I think at the end of the day, Notre Dame's explosiveness when it comes to the passing offense and attack is going to be able to be a success. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Make sure the 2 videos down below, and 1 will be a Notre Dame playlist, and hit the subscribe button up here. And as always, have a great day. Bye, guys.